have Mr. Kenny Kreeger
How you doing?
with Undertaker Corks. I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we're going to get into the business of Undertaker Corks in a little bit. But first, in the spirit of this podcast, is we want to get into the owners of the business. You know, you as the owner of Undertaker Corks.
Yes,
so tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How'd you get into this?
Originally from New Orleans. Lived there till I was about 8 years old. And then originally from the East, and we moved to Slidell around 89. You know, grew up on the water. Come from a long line of fishermen, anglers. My grandfather, he was commercial crabberman, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then,
So a family history of being on the water.
yes, sir, family
Yeah.
history. You know, grew up fishing and hunting, and we moved to Slidell, and we used to rent boat and motor from Tight's Place that used to be on by the 5 Mile Bridge.
Yep.
But after Katrina, you know, it never came back. So we always loved fishing with popping corks, and I knew one day, you know, we wanted to come out with our own brand. So
Okay.
kind of brought us to this.
All right. So you said 89 you moved over here to Slidell?
Around 89, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So that's been quite a while.
Yeah.
What do you do for work? Is this the only thing you do, or is this
No, I do have a day job, and get off at 2:30, and then I start with Undertaker.
okay?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so you're juggling a full-time job and
Yep.
doing
I call
this
it a
business.
hybrid entrepreneur. You know?
Well, that's how most people start, right?
Right.
Is doing something on the side, and then
Right.
hopefully it's successful. And what gave you the idea to start this business?
Well, like I mentioned, we always loved fishing with corks. And we were part owners of another company, but it was a handshake contract and things didn't work out.
Fell through.
Yeah, it fell through. So then we started Undertaker. And the way we got the name was, you know, you always say, hey, man, your cork's under. Your cork's under, you know. So,
Means you got to bite.
right.
Yeah.
So we put, you know, Undertaker together, and here we are, tried to do something new, you know, give it a new look.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's an interesting name,
Yeah.
Undertaker Corks. So you saw something out there that you could either provide a better product or improve on something, right?
Yes,
with
sir.
with your corks.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some demonstrations after we're done talking, and we'll kind of showcase those products. But tell me a little bit about when you started your business. What was, I guess, your biggest challenge? Was it products? Was it marketing? Was it getting your name out there?
Yeah, definitely all of it. But the most challenging part was finding companies that had the materials that I needed and how to actually form the wire the way we do. So I had to do a lot of research, a lot of late nights on YouTube, made a lot of phone calls, you know, to find the products that we needed to make the corks the way we wanted to make them.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so materials going into the product.
Yep.
And you make these by hand, or do you have some type of
Yeah, we make them by hand. We actually have a company that we get the corks from, and they stamp our name on them because we just wouldn't have time to do everything,
right?
you know. But then we form them, you know, bend the wire ourselves, and do all our packaging and distribution, you know, in-house.
Yeah, you can see the colors here and the different corks you have.
Yeah, we have 3 different styles. This is our most popular here. It's called the shallow popper. People really like to fish artificial baits with these, like an artificial shrimp, or, you know, whatever brand you prefer to fish. And the reason why people like these is because it's our loudest cork. So you want to draw a lot of attention to that artificial bait.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's not moving around like live bait.
Yeah,
is.
you got to really,
Yeah.
really pop this cork and bring a lot of attention to that lure. Yep.
Okay. So how do you go about marketing Undertaker Corks? How do you advertise, and how do you get most of your business?
A lot of my, where I got a lot of help from was a lot of charter boat captains. You know, charter boat captains that I've known kind of before I even started my company. And they really help promote, because every time they go on a trip, you know, they're tagging Undertaker Corks, So
And using those and showing,
so
hey, look what you can do with these.
yep, that, and we do a lot of shows too. Any show that we can get into, whether it be something with outdoors, a boat show or any kind of sportsman show, we we get in there and hand out cards. Even if somebody doesn't buy at the booth, you can always talk to them and
Yeah.
hand them a business card.
Yeah, I mean, the trade shows is huge, I think,
Yeah.
with something like that. Because you got people that are looking for
Yes,
stuff
sir.
like that.
Yep.
There, you're at a boat show or an outdoor fishing show.
Right.
Yeah, you're definitely looking for that.
And I'm getting better at working the booth at events. It takes some time to get used to.
It does. Man.
You know,
Yeah.
because if you just set up and sit there, you ain't gonna
You
get
might
no
get
sales.
one or two,
Yeah.
right? But you're not going to get.
You got to say hello, introduce yourself, and show everybody your products.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big part of it is buying products. You can go to Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's and probably buy everything you need,
Yeah.
but it's a big box store. Who are
Yeah.
you dealing with? Is
Right.
it a small business like yourself?
Right.
No, it's not. So yeah, that's a huge part of it, which is what we want to try and do is let people know that your products and your background and you're here in Slidell making these
And that does help a lot when you tell people you're a local company and you hand make them, hand package them. That really makes a difference.
yeah. Do you advertise in any other way, like radio or any kind of broadcast?
We
or-
have done some print in different
Okay.
magazines, in the past. Haven't done too much of that lately, but probably will start getting into more things like that. We really want to get our YouTube channel off the ground, so that's something that we're focusing for the new year.
Okay.
So
So you have your own YouTube channel.
I do have one now, but we want to launch a new one.
Okay.
So that's something.
Well, if, we'll get a link and we'll put it down at the bottom of
Okay.
this.
Appreciate
Definitely,
that. Yep.
definitely share that with everybody. What do you think has been your secret to success? Like, what have you done, if you could put your finger on it, that has gotten your product out there or made those sales? Is it how you market, who you market to? Is it the quality of the product? Is it the connection with you?
I think what has helped me is that a lot of people do know my dad because he's a charter boat captain, been fishing for many years, so that's definitely helped. And I just do a lot of, I guess you could say, dry calling. I call tackle shops. I'll call people that have marinas, or even people that just like down in St. Bernard Parish. There's a lot of people that rent camps out or things like that. So I'll just call them, send them some samples, send them some cards, and
Because you want to get those in stores too, right? Or,
yes, sir. Stores and anybody who has anything to do with the water,
yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
What was kind of your inspiration for starting this particular business?
Well, I know a lot of people know Captain Dudley Vandervoor, and he started his line. I'm not exactly sure what year it was, but they've been in business a long time. So watching him do it, that definitely lit the fire, in the beginning. I just didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew eventually we would get into either making lures or popping corks.
And the Dudley, they're local to this area as well?
Yeah, Deadly Dudley is the name of their company.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
that might have been kind of a trailblazer and inspiration.
Yeah, he actually made his own design and, started at his house, bagging lures, making his own lures. And now another gentleman, I think, owns the company.
And that's what you're doing now.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. So he was definitely a big inspiration to us.
And I'd imagine, I mean, this is not something you do with a couple of hours a week, right? This is,
Yeah, this is, I don't get too much time on the water anymore because I'm always,
yeah.
in here making corks, but, definitely doing what I love. And it's definitely a lot of hours, If you're going to make a handmade product, you got to definitely be prepared to spend a lot of time in the shop.
So how much time, I guess, on average, like what's your week like? Say, how many, you get off of work at, I think you said like 2 or 3, something like that in the
2:30,
afternoon?
I get off, come home, get the kids situated, and go right to the shop. And it's that, and I'm in there until my eyes start shutting.
Yeah,
Some days I'm out there till midnight. Some days, I might call it early and go in at 9. But then the weekends I hit it hard.
A lot of personal time
Yeah,
putting
a
into
lot of
that.
time in there.
Yeah.
You know, some companies I ship to, some companies I deliver in person. You know, so local companies like Gus's and the Mariners out here, I'll go hand deliver myself.
What about financing? I mean, you got to have either some money in the bank, or either a loan or something. Was that a challenge for you coming into this,
Yeah,
or?
it definitely was a challenge, especially going against a lot of new companies. They come out swinging. You know, they can come out with gear, apparel, all kind of different types of lures. And it's definitely a challenge, but we just took it one step at a time. And we financed everything in house.
That's good.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was the main thing that I learned from the other company that I was involved with. You don't want to move too fast. You want to take your time, and that's where I'm at with it. I don't want to get overwhelmed and not be able to meet
I'll
my
be able to
customers'
deliver.
needs.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's to me. That's a challenge that just about every small business faces, is the capital to
Yes,
start
sir.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, not growing too fast that you can't keep up with the
Right.
customers that are buying your products
Right.
right now.
Like
Yeah.
we just started getting into other things, like our top water baits here. We just did that about maybe a year ago, branched off and started getting into some other things.
These lures they seem like they are kind of directed to, or focused with some seasoned anglers. Would a beginner be able to pick one of these up, and would you recommend a beginner kind of grab one of
Starting with a
these?
popcorn, yeah. I would say more seasoned anglers, use, I guess, a popping cork, they call it now. We used to just call it a cork because there was no such thing as a popping cork. 'Cause
And what makes it a popping cork?
what makes it a popping cork is the beads that we use and the sound that it gives. You know, regular traditional corks, there's no sound to them.
Right, it just
You
sits on
just
the
flip them
water, and
on, and they were mainly directed to fish with
which is
bait.
that's my background with
Yeah,
fishing, is
with
throw the cork out
worms or
there
something
and
like that. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna get one out of here. But yeah, so this makes it a popping cork. You want to something that's going to draw a lot of sound. So like I said, this style cork you'll be using mainly artificial. You know, so that's our loudest cork here. These are called the shallow poppers. This
Okay.
is our most popular brand here. People just like these. So I suggest these for um, artificial baits. And this is kind of like a middle cork. You can kind of do live or artificial with these. And then a lot of people like our oval corks to use with live shrimp because it cuts through the water easier. These corks kind of have a drag to them when you're reeling in, so the shrimp can move around more freely, and live a lot longer if you're using an oval, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. And the colors on there, are the colors specific to the shapes, or can you get
Oh no, we just have we have pink, yellow, and orange and green in every color.
in all shapes,
Yes,
all
sir.
the
All,
different
all
sizes?
different shapes.
It's pretty cool. We'll show this, but you've got a skull right there as
Yeah,
part of the. That's pretty
part
cool.
of the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wanted to do something different, something that was going to match our name.
Yeah. That's unique. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. We played around with different names in the beginning and decided on this one.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yep.
And then talk to me about the other lures that you have up
Yeah,
here.
these like I said, these are our new top waters. We came out with these maybe about a year ago. We have 6 different colors here, and how you fish these is they do it's called walking the dog. We can take some shots of that, and
Yeah.
I can show y'all how to do that.
Well,
Yep.
cool.
But that's a top water bait. Yep.
And I'd imagine an angler is watching this. They know that.
They know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Yes, sir. That's got a little cadence to it too, walking a dog.
Well, I think we covered your background, where you're from, how you got into this business, which is a great story. I mean, you being a fisherman all your life and having that experience and bringing it to, a product that you can get out there to help others,
Yes,
I
sir.
think is great. Anything else on yourself or the business that you want to add?
Just what I wanted to say about our corks. that's a big question we always get. What separates us from other people? And there's a lot of corks on the market, and they're all good companies. I don't bash anybody's company, but the main thing is the materials that we use to make our corks. Definitely the wire. You know,
And you've, like you said, you've selected that based on a
yeah.
whole lot of trial
Yeah, and
runs.
it took a long time to find that gauge wire that I wanted to use. I wanted to use something very heavy, and I've had people even tell me, Kenny, I'm not exaggerating. I caught 100 fish on your cork. You know, doesn't look too nice. The cork still, the paint's gone and the wire's bent, but it's still intact, working, catching fish.
And so the quality of that wire, that lends to it not breaking when you have a fish on it, or the
Yeah, I
longevity
mean,
of it, or
every wire, our wire needs to flex for the cork to work properly and produce and make that clack that we want to get. But it can bend, but it takes a lot to bend that wire. It take a real big redfish or maybe a line getting twisted up a certain way, but over time it will wear out, but it takes a while.
yeah,
And that's what we were shooting for.
gotcha. And where do you source these? I mean, is this somewhere in particular, or is it just a certain?
That's another interesting thing about our course. All from the wire to the beads we use, even the sinker that we use, it's all in the States. It's all companies that are here.
U.S. made.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
Everything's here. Like even my friend Chip, he does the weights, and he has his own company, and he sells weights, sinkers by the pound, and that's where we get our weights from. Without him, it would be hard to stay in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kenny, I appreciate your time. I think this about wraps up the talk.
Okay.
Let's do some demonstrations and we'll do some close ups of the products and let you kind of show it off to us. We'll put links down below for the products. You have a website that we'll put there, and
Yes,
so
sir.
if you guys are interested, yeah, check them out. Undertaker Corks.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hit the water.
Thank you.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so what we got right here is the different shapes of the corks, Kenny, and you were telling me about the difference in the sound that they make.
Yeah, definitely the shallow popper here, our biggest cork, definitely our loudest cork, and they all, I guess, because of the different shapes, they all have a different style to them, different sound to them. So the ovals have more of a high pitched clack, and I would say the cup poppers and shallow poppers have kind of a more of a deeper sound, more of a chug sound, I guess you could say. All right, we're just going to go through how to set up your popping cork. So if you're new to it or new to fishing, so when you get it out the package, you'll just take your main line here and attach it here. Whatever style knot you like to use. I'm just going to do a little. Just tying it the old-fashioned way, just for demonstration. So you tie your main line here, and then what I suggest is when you're making your leader, you go a little heavier with your leader. So whatever pound test you have on your reel, I go a little bit heavier on my.
Maybe a couple of pounds heavier.
Yeah, a couple pounds heavier when I'm going with my leader line, and you can, anywhere from 2-3 feet, however you need to make it. So I'll just maybe go about 3 feet here.
And this one is called the shallow water, right?
This is the shallow popper.
Shallow popper.
Yeah. And then you just tie on your leader line to the swivel. And I'm not really doing a fancy. This ain't what I really use when I'm fishing, but just tie it on. And then whatever type of lure you like. A lot of people like to use artificial shrimp. This is the Mojo shrimp here. This is a really good bait, good artificial shrimp.
And we're right now, we're of course filming in Slidell, and this waterway right here leads out to the Wrigley's, correct?
Leads out to Lake Pontchartrain.
Lake
Yes, sir.
Pontchartrain, yep. So this is
We're in Pirates Harbor.
Pirates Harbor. So would you use this here?
Yes, this would be a great canal
Yeah.
to fish popping corks with, because when you come out this, if you go down this long canal here, you can actually get to the other side of this levee here, and that's where we fish a lot of bass and things like that along the shoreline.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna show the cast and kind of get a little sound of how that popping cork sounds.
So this would be your setup.
I'm gonna get over here.
This is a little bit long, but I'm just doing a little demonstration. And I would say another important thing when you're fishing popping corks is to get you, just my opinion, this is what I find works better, get you at least a 7-foot rod. It helps making those, when you really have to bomb the cork out there and get it out there a long ways, that 7-foot rod definitely helps get it out. This is a Zook rod. This is a medium light. Also, I would say with a reel, whatever reel you like, just make sure it has no reverse to it, because some reels, when you stop it, it'll kick back a little bit with a reverse. So make sure you get a reel that has no reverse, and helps out a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely got a unique sound to it, that pop.
Yeah, we experimented with a lot of different beads before we decided on one. And I noticed some people like pop the cork like this, which can work.
With the reel or with the rod.
With a up and down motion. I find that kind of a sidearm action, to me, seems to work better. And you have less chance of getting your line tied up, tangled up.
Cool.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, these are new top water baits that we came out with not too long ago. This is called the Undertaker Daywalker. This is our top water baits. Really great set of treble hooks on them. Great rattle. And this is our color called the Marsh Whisperer.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna do the old walking the dog method. You just want to make that top water bait, almost give it a snake action. A lot of people are intimidated to do this with the top water baits, but it's really simple. You just want to keep a little steady reel, not too fast, and just pop that rod tip. Kind of hard to cast here because we're kind of in the corner, but
Like you said, it's making that that back and forth.
yeah, you want to give it that back and forth action. Sometimes I'll pause it and get a strike.
You can hear that rattle as you do it too.
Yeah, we actually, we do get these made, but we made sure that they had a really good rattle to them. That's it. It's pretty simple to do a topwater bait. Just keep twitching your rod and giving it that steady retrieve.